And every day you're getting older and the days are just going by, man. Don't let everything go by. You're missing opportunities.
If you'd like to share, what is your name and what do you spend the most time doing, sir?
My name is Lamar, and I am a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach, and I'm also kickboxing instructor, and I coach MMA striking, MMA fighters, but I'm also a sous chef, and I help one of my best friends' mother and her boyfriend do food festivals, and I'm trying to take over their business because they're older and they want to retire and everything like that. So,
okay. So which one came first? Was it martial arts or was it being involved in kitchens and things like that?
it was martial arts,
Okay.
and I grew up cooking in a house full of women. I was a baby, and I ended up living in San Diego and retiring from martial arts. But I always worked in like the restaurant industry, so I was like server, bartender, bar back. And I never really did any kitchen style cooking, like fast paced and multitasking. And then I got persuaded by an executive chef when I was trying to apply for a bartending job in San Diego.
Okay.
And he persuaded me into working in the kitchen, being a prep, and learning how to debone a chicken and just everything, and get insurance and work daytime instead of late nights.
Okay.
And I just kind of ran with it.
So how did that persuasion look? Was it a job opportunity? Was it an opportunity to go somewhere new? How did that persuasion look?
Learn a new trade, because bartending there, you'd be working till like 2 in the morning or so, and you kind of working off tips and cash and no insurance. But the prep cook job was working at like 8 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon, day shift, insurance, because I was still training. So you needed health insurance and everything like that in case you get hurt. So that kind of, and I was older, so I was kind of persuaded me.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what you said about new opportunity to learn and your dedication to the gym, I imagine you take personal growth and challenging yourself very seriously. Is that right?
I do. Yeah. Pretty disciplined, I guess you could say.
So what's something that you've challenged yourself to do recently, and how has that experience look?
Yeah, I'm always challenging myself to do something. Just like this food festival thing, this is just another stepping stone. Like I'm over working in kitchens. I've helped open restaurants in Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, and in San Diego, and in food carts. And then now I've done catering and events and all that stuff. And this is just a whole other thing, because you basically travel to different areas, different states, and make your menu and just grind for the whole weekend, and then make good money, and then you don't do it the rest of the every day. So it could be challenging too, in being in different weather and temperatures and setting things up. But the few times I've done it, it's something that I can run with. And the people I'm working for, they're almost 70 years old and doing this.
Wow.
And run food trucks during the week. So I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it.
and I did hear you say early on in this interview that you're looking to take over their business. I don't know if I quoted you correctly, but
yeah, basically, buy them out, or just to where it's mine, basically, you know what I mean? But at first, if I have to, like, if I want to rent the equipment, because I'm learning from them, and yeah, because I can get equipment and things like that, and but they have it, and yeah.
Okay, so so one quick announcement. My name is Levi, and I do not self-promote any product or any service while I interview a guest. Every 10th episode is going to be a full episode dedicated to self-promotion. So if we've earned your attention, please check it out. Have you been an entrepreneur before? I know you spoke about training and things like that. Is that a business that you had?
I've actually had a few businesses. I in my 20s, I had an auto detailing business, detail cars. I had like 4 dealerships, 15 employees.
Wow.
In my 30s, every 10 years.
Okay.
In my 30s, I was doing the personal training thing, and did that for a while, all through San Diego. And then I went into culinary. I went to culinary school. I'm 48.
Okay, I was curious. You said when you're in your 30s. I mean, I thought he was like 37.
No. I'm 48. And then in my 40s, I went to culinary school during the pandemic. Everything shut down, and I already became a sous chef, but I wanted to know more about the business. So I went to culinary school on the Pacific Northwest, and then now it's all this. But the personal training, I fell back into that again, because martial arts is a passion.
Okay.
And I'm so plugged in all through Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland, up there, that I can work at different gyms. And I ended up getting a job, just wanted to just have an extra check doing teaching like kickboxing classes and things. And then I just kept getting a bunch of clients that want to do strength and conditioning, personal training. So my personal training came back into it. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I have a lot of clients, and then so you got to have few hustles out here. You know that, you know?
Absolutely. We have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'd like to touch on one or two subjects, whichever one you feel more passionate about, okay?
Okay.
I'd like to dive a bit more into either the martial arts or your first business, whichever one you'd like to touch on first.
So the martial arts is great. I continually am trying to learn because I'm not a ninja. I don't know everything, but
So what kind of style are you? What kind of
Muay
fighter are
Thai,
you? Okay, Muay
kickboxing.
Thai, kickboxing.
Yeah, I do jiu-jitsu. I'm a purple belt jiu-jitsu. I've done judo and wrestling off and on for the last 15 years or so or more. Um, Basically a striker, but I'm good at the MMA style, mixing it up. So it's like MMA striking, standing different, checking the grapple, getting all top game, fancy cage work.
Have you ever competed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many fights have
Yeah.
you fought in?
Dude, I've had let's see.
Or
Not
better?
including my amateur fights, you know what I'm saying? I've had a bunch of them. I used to fight underground first, and then yeah. And my career was not the best because I started at an older age. I started at 30.
Wow.
So a lot of guys will start at like in their early 20s and they'll live at home and they'll have a girlfriend or somebody to help support them. I was supporting myself. I already had a child. I already had to pay child support.
And that's when you probably had the auto detailing business also, right? Is that about the same time? Or that was before?
Yeah, before it was auto detailing, and then it went to the I was playing semi-pro football, and I already grew up fighting.
Wow, entrepreneur and athlete. Okay, so can you tell me about your very first fight? I imagine that was an amateur fight. What is it, like a smoker's what they're called, right?
Yeah, as far as sanctioned.
Yeah, like
Okay.
maybe
'Cause
not
I
in the
grew up
street, but
fighting in the streets.
in a ring.
Yeah. In the ring, my first smoker was it was cool. It was my gym against another gym, and it's basically just everybody, the teammates, and maybe some family members in there, and then it was weird because we didn't know who we were fighting until we just matched up in there in the gym. It's like, you're gonna fight this guy. And you're like, okay. So bounced around, do a couple leg kicks. I think one time I like kicked him in the nuts on accident.
Oh,
He had to
man.
stop real quick. And then we did it again, and then I think he tried to take me down and I sprawled, and then I jumped guard into a guillotine line, guillotine him.
Okay.
So I choked him out with a guillotine. And you never want to just jump back guard because you end up on the bottom, you know what I mean? And that's what I did. It was pretty quick. And then
So you took
after
a
that-
risk by going for the guillotine because you were going to your
yes,
back first?
exactly. But I was able to do it. I didn't know a lot of jiu-jitsu at the time. I just knew, one or two chokes. But yeah, it was cool. I think I fought two guys that day, actually. But anyways, it was experience because it's so different than getting into a fight right then and there in the middle of the street off the instinct than knowing you're going to fight some guy in 8 weeks.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
of course.
3 months. You're like, okay, so now then you start getting really good, and like these people are taking it really serious, and somebody wants to take your head off just like you want to and get paid.
Pretty much stepping into a ring, someone's got the green light to inflict as much damage on you as possible.
Yeah, and he has sponsors and he has family, and he wants to make it a career.
The so I was kind of in the I guess I did it earlier, so I did it like right at 22 going into
Oh, good. That's-
kickboxing and
yeah.
boxing. I actually think I had the what is it, the opposite of a benefit? I had the misfortune of going in too early because as soon as I stepped in the gym, I was like, I want to hop in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And to be completely honest, I wouldn't even call it just arrogance. I think arrogance played a role, but I was like, I just want to get in there and box.
Yeah.
And because I wouldn't call myself a street fighter, I was nowhere near that hard and tough.
Yeah.
But I absolutely got boxing gloves on all the time with my friends, and
Yeah.
I would beat up people out of my weight class. So I was like, oh man, I want to hop into a gym.
Yep.
And literally the first day before I even sparred in the gym, I was like, hey, I want to hop in the ring. How does it work? They're like, well, in a couple weeks there's a smoker, but you got to apply for it. I was supposed to fight a guy that had a 0-2 record, and
Okay.
apparently we stepped in and like he canceled the day of, and they put me up against a guy that's been fighting for 10 years. And
Oh, wow.
the thing about it is
not fair.
that upset me so much because he really could have injured me. Like he could have hurt me really, really badly, but it was
Exactly.
almost like he was having mercy on me, and it didn't feel like an authentic fight. But we went all 3 rounds.
No, I feel you. Like I got a young guy now. He's did Street Beefs. You ever heard of Street Beef?
On YouTube. And
One of
stuff.
my
Mighty
guys.
Mouse, right?
One of my guys did Street Beefs. Yeah, on YouTube. And he's like, I want to. He wants to fight. I was like, man, like there's steps to this, and like I'm plugged in a lot of gyms where on Sundays it's like warrior school. It's like gladiator school because all these gyms of guys who are professionals, amateurs, good records, a lot of people, and they all just spar. You learn all during the week, and then that day you spar all these different rounds, kickboxing. So I finally took him to one. He's never been to a real MMA gym. And like you got to get that experience, and you need it. You know what I mean? Like sparring a lot more and being put in the worst predicaments than just jumping out there, because you don't want to have a bad record. Amateur records don't mean shit for real. It's just experience, but professional record means a lot.
Absolutely.
It's on your record. But I tell people don't do that. You know what I mean? Don't jump out there like that.
Do you know any of the amateur fighters? No, not the amateur. The pro fighters around here?
No, I don't. But I used to train with a lot of guys all through San Diego, LA. A lot of UFC guys. I train with UFC guys now, Bellator guys and different things like that. And it's a whole another level of explosiveness and all that. And the only difference between amateur and professional is that pros train harder. Yeah. It's dedicated. They live, sleep, breathe, and bleed it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And in amateur fights, you don't get paid. You can get sponsors. I had sponsors when I was amateur, but then also professionals, you get paid each fight. Yeah. You know? But
how'd you get your sponsorships?
You literally can talk to anybody, and you can walk up to that food truck and say, "Hey, I'm a fighter, and fighting out of here." Especially if they're all local, and say, "I'll take whatever you can give me, $200, $500. You can get a banner or get a patch put on to advertise their company on you. You can take pictures on social media. Like my main sponsor, I never met in person. Brother, he found me on Facebook."
I absolutely love your energy. We have so much in common because that is exactly what I did, even for this podcast right here.
Yeah.
Number one, even just walking up to someone. I mean, I wouldn't call you still an intimidating person, but maybe you would have punched me in the face when they came up to you. But I did the same thing walking up to businesses and say, "Hey, I got a little podcast. I'd love to shout out your business."
Yeah.
One of them is the gym downtown. Maybe you can stop by, go get a workout in, brother.
The best thing, man, that I've learned is be able to accept. What is it?
Rejection.
Yeah. Yeah. With everything. You know what I mean? To be able to accept rejection, and you never know. And like persistence, I've gotten most of my jobs in my life from persistence. Tell kids now, don't apply somewhere and just sit back. Apply and then go back and speak to the manager. Go back and talk to somebody. Go back and let them know that you're interested. Yeah. So that's cool that you're doing, man. I want to give you kudos to this podcast thing. That's really dope, man. You start small. Like I'm telling you, man. I don't know where you're at with it, but I'm saying I hope to see you doing big things, man.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I think one of the first people we ever interviewed was the mayor of the city, Kenneth Alexander.
Oh, good for you.
And I remember so many people said, how did you get to the mayor? I thought you would have to interview like 100 people first. I was like, I literally just walked up and asked if you want to do an interview, and we talked for 15 minutes. And that's our first one on our podcast.
When I used to get contracts for detailing, I walked up to the dealership, and I think I talked to the manager. One was a smaller dealership, so I met the owner. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, man, because it's about the lowest bid. Somebody who's doing like $100 a car." And I just said, "Let me detail your car for free." And then I did it. And then I just showed him my work. And you get it. You got to walk up and just do it.
Just a hustle.
Be
All right,
motivated.
I know you got a lot going on. I don't want to hold you up. So if you have one more closing statement, one thing that you're passionate about that you want people to hear, let's end it there, brother.
You can always change your life for the better. Nobody can dictate your own life, your own steps, and your own choices and decisions. Like I was wild growing up years ago. I went to prison for 7 years, a long time ago. All that stuff, got out, and just be productive. Don't ever think you can't change your life, but it starts in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And you got to stick with it, man. And you don't fake the funk. You're only lying to yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. And grind, man. It's all about living, being driven. And every day you're getting older and the days are just going by, man. Don't let everything go by. You're missing opportunities. Make opportunities.
I love it. Get up and grind. Only thing stopping you is you. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, brother.